When we have situations like this where we gather the pretest scores of a group of students and then their post-test scores, we usually would like to use here the paired samples t-test in order for us to determine whether there is a significant difference between the scores of the students before and after a certain period of time, hence pretest and post-test. But what we usually forget here is to check the assumptions, because for a certain test to be used, we need to satisfy or establish all the assumptions. Now, before we could use here the paired samples t-test, we need to establish the 4 assumptions. Now, for the first 2, we can just simply examine it with the type of data given here, but let's proceed immediately to the 3rd assumption. Okay? The 3rd and the 4th assumption are both tests that we can do under SPSS here, but this video will just focus on the 3rd assumption. That 3rd assumption is the assumption where there would be no significant outliers for this specific data. Because if there is, then we might be using another test for that. Okay? So we will also have a separate video for the 4th assumption. So this 3rd assumption, again, testing for no significant outliers. So you would like to show here that for this specific set of data, there are no significant outliers. Before we start with that, of course, this data here, the first column would be student. There's that just nominal in nature, representation of student in numbers. And we have here the pretest and post-test scores. You can go to your variable view and examine it further, that your pretest will be labeled pretest scores. You have here post-test scores as well. And you will have to specify them as a scale measurement. Okay, so this is just your preliminary contributions to your data. So if we are going to test here this set of data to have no or there might be significant outliers, what we're going to test here is not the pretest column nor the post-test column. We are going to check whether there are no significant outliers for their differences. The differences can be measured by, of course, subtracting with pretest by post-test, or you can even do it vice versa. You don't need to worry about negatives because later on we're just going to check whether there are significant outliers with the differences. Again, you can do it manually, like 21 minus 25 is negative 4, 22 minus 19 is positive 3, or you can allow SPSS to do that for you. Doing this, click transform, compute variable. When you click that one here, you can compute a certain type of variable and together with its corresponding operation. I'm going to call this one here differences. Just call it difference, and let's label it later on a variable view. So differences or differences. We can compute difference here by pretest score. You click that, place it here, and of course, since it's differences, minus your post-test scores and click that there. Again, you don't need to worry if you would like to have post-test minus pretest, it's just the same. Okay? Because then, you're just going to check whether there are no significant outliers. And for the 4th assumption about normality, you're just checking if the differences is normally distributed. And for paired sample t-test, if all assumptions will be satisfied, they will just be using the differences. Okay? So once you're done with this, again, your pretest, this was done again by transform, compute variable. Okay, that's what we did coming up with this dialog box. Simply click OK. And you would see that for our 4th column, we just highlight here, you will see all the differences. But of course, it will just give you the output area. Just simply go back to this. You can have your differences. As mentioned, 21 minus 25 is negative 4. 22 minus 19 is a 3. 15 minus 20 is negative 13. Of course, if you're just going to have post-test minus pretest, the signs will be interchange. But then again, the goal here is just to check whether there are significant outliers or not. Once you have your differences column, let's try to label this here differences so that we'll have better interpretation later between pretest and post-test scores. Let's just have that as our label. Going back here, so again, in checking whether there are significant outliers, which will also be true later for our 4th assumption, we'll be using the differences here. In this, how we analyze the data here. You go to Analyze, you go to Descriptive Statistics, and Explore. Again, Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Explore. Once you click that, you will have this dialog. What I would like you to do is you place your differences here in dependent list. Just that value. Okay, Now, this type of dialogue could also be used for the fourth assumption. That is why for some cases, the third and the fourth assumption is done simultaneously because you will have sets of data already. But what we just need here is for this video is for the test for significant outliers. So let's not try to click these plots because that will be for the fourth assumption, which will be given by a separate video. So with this here, you might want to click just plots or statistics. You might want to do that, but the default is both. That's already okay. Once you place your differences here, simply click OK, and you will have this result. In your result, you will have a lot of tables and a figure later on, or a plot. We call it the box plot. But this could be considered. This could be considered as well. Let me just continue and proceed immediately here. Look at this box plot. This is the box plot for all the differences between the pretest and post scores. You can see here that there are no dots outside this plot here. Now, this is the indication that there are no outliers, because if there are outliers, they will be marked outside here. And if we talk about significant outliers, we can actually differentiate or identify even two types of outliers. You can also have just ordinary outlier or a far out outlier. Okay, but in this case, there are no labels there. This is already an indication that for our result, or for our set of data rather, our set of data here with these differences, there are no significant outliers, and hence we have already satisfied the third assumption before we can use the paired samples t-test. Okay, just for the purpose of discussion, again, this is already okay. Just for the purpose of discussion, what if we add the 91st and 92nd student? 92nd. Okay. What if the pretest score of this student is 10? Again, just for the purpose of discussion, and the post is 95. You would say that the difference is negative 85, right? You can just simply compute that because it's just one or two students. So it might be already an indication to you that, oh, it's very different from all these differences. So this might be an outlier. Okay. We let's also add another student here, or the score is 11, and you will have here 65. If I'm not mistaken, this is 54, right? Or negative 54, sorry. You have 11 minus 65 is negative 54. Now that we have added these two students, let's try to differentiate or to check whether there are now outliers. Okay, again, earlier in the original file, there are no significant outliers. But if we have this, analyze, descriptive statistics, and explore. Once you click explore, same thing here. So if you would like to do that, just like that there, this is already considering the additional two students with their corresponding pretest, post scores, and differences between the scores. Once you click OK, you'll be given with another set of results. This was the result earlier. There are no significant outliers. But if we go back, or we go now to our second, just this one here, you would see that there are two differences outside this plot. These are what we call as outliers, and we have two types of outliers here. The outliers indicated by SPSS, the circular one, these are actually outliers. Okay, but for some, I'm not saying for in general, but for some, these type of outliers are being considered. Not this one here, because this one here indicated by the star, this is the far out outlier, and this is what we call as significant outlier. With this one here, this new set of data where we added the two students, this has significant outliers now, and hence we cannot use the paired samples t-test because of these two. Okay, these two indication here. Take note that the type, the number or the label of the student, 91, as we could see, that's the 91st student earlier, with negative 85 as difference. In this 92, we have negative 54, so it's even closer, but it's still considered as outlier. This is actually now depending on the researcher whether we will consider this later on for pair sample t-test or not. But basically, these are outliers already, and these are far out outliers. But going back again, removing these two, and going back to our original set of data with these scores and their differences, this was the box plot earlier, and we could see that there are no significant outliers. With this, we can proceed now to the fourth assumption, and if that fourth assumption will be satisfied, then we can use here the paired samples t-test to check the difference between the pre-test and post scores of this group of students. See you in the next video.